Welcome to Riverbreak. Here we are. We are back. This is season 6. This is episode 3. So we got a lot of stuff going on in this episode, I hope. We'll see where it goes. The episode title is Meet the Queen, which is about where we left off on season 6, episode 2. So let's get right into it. Where were we when we last left? Do you guys remember?
We're sleeping a good one off at the Crossblades.
Right.
And Gucci was ordering really expensive alcohol.
Yeah, Gucci spent like 600 gold on booze.
Yes. Yes.
And at the end of the night, Korbog picked Gucci up and said, "Let's see if your tongue is good for more than talking."
And
wait a minute.
because of that,
What?
Gucci would have been like,
Thank
and then basically made sure that thermaturgy and like made sure that the lights flickered a little bit more than usual.
Romantic.
Mood lighting.
Mood lighting.
Of course.
I didn't say anything about romance.
You didn't know half orcs go through Ponfar from the Star Trek? This is going to be no romance at all.
I love it. I love that you used the
It's been
Star
a long
Trek
time since
reference.
Korbog was aboard a pirate ship. Let's just say that.
Oh.
You know, there's nothing wrong with pirates that swing both ways. It's apparently pretty common, you know, all those days out at sea. What the hell?
That's why they have hammocks.
Sea riding.
That's why they have hammocks.
I'm going to let that one go.
Okay. Anyway.
Visual. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys,
We said at the scene. That's the scene,
That's
you
right,
know.
that was
We
the
just had
scene.
to-
That's right. It was.
We
It
had
was.
this.
So we'll go past the night. The night goes by fine.
Mhm.
You guys wake up the next morning. Apparently, Brynn and Goldie are rooming together for the night, and
Mhm.
Gucci and Korbog haven't been seen. So what happens in the morning?
Goldie looks at Brynn and says, "You kept stealing all the covers."
I'm sorry. I didn't even realize you were in bed with me. When did that happen?
Korbog suddenly opens the door and goes, "Why are you in bed together? That's not right."
Because there was only one. I don't take up a lot of space, you know, Korbog. You don't even know I'm on your back sometimes.
Not listening anymore.
But we had a good night of sleep, I guess. Did you guys sleep well?
You seem awfully chipper this morning, Korbog. What's going on?
Got rid of some tension.
How? Did you
Let's just
you work
say
out?
I taught him some night lessons. And then you see
Really?
where Gucci's shirt is like basically kind of like out, like it's like out of like, you know, like where he usually has it nicely tucked in the pants. It's like kind of like loose. His vest is open. The shirt is a little bit open to kind of like you kind of see like a little slight like on his like kind of near where his lung is. There's like a scar there, but it's like it's more faint. But you kind of like see where he's just like just chest out, kind of just relaxing on the chair, looking very pleased with himself, of course.
Why are you
What's
so
weirder is
disheveled?
that Korbog doesn't yet have his armor on.
Have we ever
Where
seen
you're-
Korbog without his armor on?
No.
I've been
I'm
rooming with
surprised
you.
he
I don't
took,
think...
I'm surprised he even took the armor off. So, really.
Hey,
Oh my god.
I said we needed a bath. We just traipsed halfway across the world.
That's true.
Your abs are rock hard. You're like steel.
Okay, so where are you guys going today?
Gucci knows.
Mm.
So we got our meeting with the queen, right? She's that's obviously first on the agenda.
Excuse me, no, breakfast is first.
Well,
Yes, what the little one said, Goldie, yes, of course. But we will have time to meet with the plus you know, I would like to look presentable. So yes.
He would like to look presentable. Korbog, you need to look presentable. Where are your clothes? What's happening here?
so can somebody describe the room? Is it
in my
like
room?
thrown, tossed pieces of armor and clothing and weapons and
There's a pauldron embedded in the wall. Yeah.
there's some weird goo.
How did that get up there?
Did Did you battle in here last night? I mean, what happened?
I'm like, why did you guys get a room with a swing on the ceiling?
We put that up last night.
Fun.
One of these days, I'll tell you about when there's two consensual adults and they would like to play. There's sometimes
I am an adult, Gucci.
Debatable, but
right.
again, when you're older,
Yeah.
Come on, Goldie. Let's go down and get some breakfast. Let these two get undisheveled, and we'll
No,
go
I'm
see
going down
Katie
like this. So I can put my armor on later.
So would that make them then? Would that mean they would be getting shoveled?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
It's like you can be
Disheveled.
overwhelmed and underwhelmed, but can you be whelmed? I mean, that's
They're pondering things to think about
Mhm.
in the middle of the game. That's true. Let's think about that.
Thank you for your haiku moment from
a little philosophy,
Arthur of Gaming this morning.
Philosophy. I even drank enough Red Bull for philosophy this morning. What are you talking about? The heck?
Corbot's just going
I
to go
once
put 6 eggs
scrambled
in a pitcher
What?
of beer, so,
So
for breakfast.
So Art,
For breakfast,
while
sure.
we're downstairs and taking breakfast, Bryn's been thinking about something for a while. And I have a question. I want to see if I can put two and two together. We a long time ago, back in a galaxy far, far away. I digress. We picked up some of that rainbow rock, right? And at the time we collected some notes, right? There was some notes, there was an order, I think, in a book, and we kept those notes. And one of them, I think, was signed by EB, if I remember right. So I want to go back through and I want to look through the notes and the request for orders of that rainbow rock that was then getting turned into the weapons. And if I remember right, the first time we've seen anyone wield one of those weapons was actually the drow that we fought on the way here.
Correct. That's the first time you've seen someone wield a weapon made out of that metal.
So, and was it Durgar dwarfs that were
Mining it.
That were mining it? Okay.
Correct.
So going back through the notes, I want to read through them and see if anything kind of clicks in terms of like the initials, anything in the notes, anything about the handwriting, and to see if it has to do with the drow or if it has to do with all the other people we were just fighting that had taken over the city of Riverbreak. Because I think we thought those two correlated before, but now I'm not sure.
Well, first it was signed by. Let me give you the initials, because they're escaping my mind for a moment here. But
I'm sorry, one break. And when was this, Brynn? Was this before Goldie was discovered?
Yeah. Yeah,
it was
this was
season 1, like episode 3, I think.
Okay.
Goldie
So-
existed before she was part of this party.
I'm disgusted, Corbog, that
Why?
I did not exist before. Wait, she might be too young. Because if she's like 16,
Stop-
17,
True, she
maybe.
might not have existed.
signed by
Sure.
GR.
Yes, GR.
Yeah.
Correct.
How long ago was this? Like 12 years ago? I mean, in Riverbreak years?
In
It was
actual
about
time?
16 years ago.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was
16 years?
16 years.
Yeah.
So you did not exist.
So it was signed by GR. It had the seal that was the same as on the handkerchief, and it was the handkerchief that we got from Medusa, who was the person I got my bow from. I can't believe my notes are this good on this.
So
Wow, me
this was
neither.
actually session 4.
What?
Requesting hundreds of
Season 1,
pounds of
4.
metal to make, at the time, more symbols was what the request was for.
Correct.
That's awesome that you remembered all that from so long ago. I mean, your notes usually so shady. This is great.
I think I drank a lot less back then. I don't. For some reason, as soon as I met you, I had to drink more. I don't know.
I'm just seeing it.
Oh, what a good guy he is with all these notes he's writing.
So, I mean, is any of this like putting two and two together?
So you start talking this over vocalizing this to like the other 3 people at the table. All of you can give me a history check. Next time you play one of my games, you make sure you have,
Oh, that is a nat 1.
proficiency in
yeah.
history, because I use history a lot. This makes
It's
more
like
sense.
proficiency 1.
Because the two guys got the higher rolls, and that makes sense because they were around for longer. So,
Yes.
what did you guys
You're
get?
like, I got a 16 total.
11.
No, 17. 17.
16.
Okay.
A 3.
So Brynn and Corbog,
You guys don't know anything.
I haven't eaten breakfast yet.
I'm trying to decide if I want. you to
Gucci
have
went up to the
information at this
room
point.
to like fix himself.
Come on.
and-
I took good notes.
You
Reward
did.
your character for
and
what
this is where
you're
I'm
playing.
torn. I'm torn between you were very good about having notes, and then do I want to divert you guys a different direction at this point? The only person you've known that you've heard of in the city of Riverbreak, whose initials are GR, is Galt Roan, the Duragar Smith. Galt Roan. GLATRHON. He was a Duragar Smith. You actually met him in episode 3 in the marketplace.
Whoa.
He was in the
Is
marketplace.
where we first saw those
Where you first saw the mirror.
things
where
coming out of the mirrors.
The mirror came out. Yes, things started coming out of the mirrors, correct. Yes.
That wasn't the same episode as the Divine Slap, was it?
No, that was,
No, I
that
think
was
that was
episode
episode 2,
one.
I think.
That's
or something.
awesome.
Episode 1. That was
That's
episode
awesome.
1 or 2.
Yeah, as a level 3 character, what'd you do? Like 30-something damage with a slap?
What?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's crazy.
I love
He
that.
smited and he critted, slapping one of the barbarian guards in the face in the hive, and did like 30 points of
I
damage.
love that.
Snapping his neck. It was awesome.
That's my favorite thing. Like getting a spell and like morphing it to fit your character makes me laugh all day.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Gucci? Like, I mean, I know that they live different, but in relative years, is Gucci an adult, teenager, like
Oh,
as old
he's
as?
definitely an adult. He's probably like in his 30s. So
Okay.
Yeah, because if he isn't an adult, we're gonna have to retcon some shit.
Delete that whole part. I mean,
You guys play
Listen.
board games all night.
Gucci's been around. Let's just put it.
We were playing some weird game where we were just throwing armor around the room.
Two consensual adults playing
Cool.
together.
It brings a whole new name to Shoots and Ladders. That's all I have to say.
Shoots
That's
and
what I'm
daggers,
yeah,
whatever you're into.
Oh God.
Okay.
Pull arms and daggers. There we go.
Oh my god. We're adults. We're adults.
Okay,
God,
so
totally.
but that's all I can put together. I mean, obviously, Corbog, the only other time we've seen this metal is it was getting mined below the city. And that mine is right below. I mean, let's ask KDO. Let's see if KDO knows anything about it. Yeah.
Brynn,
Yeah.
you're talking about 16 years ago.
What?
I know, but KDO was here at the time.
Years ago. I mean, is Galt Roan still here?
We should find out.
So
We
at
can
some point,
find out.
Katie will go walking by at some point. She's milling about, serving breakfast and taking orders and stuff. So I mean, you could certainly stop her if you'd like.
Okay. I would like 2 fowl eggs and a bowl of porridge with some extra sort of plum berries on top. That'd be great.
Okay. Anyway, and she'll take orders from everybody, and she'll run off and get your orders and bring them back. And
Mhm.
Maybe some mead this morning, Katie. That'd be
okay.
great.
Mead
Mead.
in the morning?
It's like breakfast beer. It's a little sweet. It's nice. It's hearty.
Beer is breakfast beer.
Breakfast beer.
But it's a little
Maybe I'll
thicker.
try some too. A little thicker.
Just a little bit though, Goldie.
Does it
For
put
me,
air
of
in your
course,
chest?
Dragon Crush is of course, my choice drink. So, if you don't mind,
Dragon Hush? What's that? What's in
Crush,
it? What's it?
Crush, dear, Crush.
Oh.
Gucci, you do realize that we're like an adventuring party, not the Gold's Guild or something. I mean, at some
I'm
point.
sorry.
You know, Goldie, your brother never drank beer at breakfast.
My brother never drank beer at breakfast, Brynn. Just so you know. Not that anyone cares.
I mean, I'm just saying, in 16 years of adventuring and 12 levels as a character and an entire year of playing, we've only managed to collect 1,600 gold as an entire group. So,
Your brother's friends never tried to turn him into an alcoholic over some porridge.
If you add a couple eggs to the beer, it qualifies as breakfast.
I mean,
Also,
you
the
said we're going to
protein
meet with the
comes out.
queen, correct? So, I mean, it just loosens us up a bit. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, we
That's
have to be
true.
relaxed and, seem very approachable and all of that, for someone of her stature. So, don't mind me while I enjoy my wine while you enjoy your meat.
I'm drinking because I'm an alcoholic.
What? I didn't know this. This is something we have to discuss as a group, as the full Brisketeers. We have to discuss Korbog's alcoholism.
And this is how it became an intervention.
I'm just kidding, Goldie.
are you, Korbog? Are you?
This is how his innocent little breakfast at the Crossblades turned into an intervention for Corbin.
So does KDO know anything about the right? I mean, we've spoken to her before, but I guess two questions: does she know if Galt Roan's still around, and was she aware of the mining going on by the dwarves below?
Well, she'll tell you that she didn't know anything about the mining. She had never heard that was happening. She'll tell you that Galt Roan, he's been around. I mean, he's been in the city, but she hasn't seen him in a couple weeks. But up until like a couple weeks ago, he used to come in, once or twice a week to have food and stuff. But it's been a couple weeks since she's seen him.
I'm just wondering. I mean, are we on to something completely new in the city that's been going on under our noses for almost 2 decades?
Well, I mean, we weren't here for like 15 years. So it wasn't under our noses.
So, well, fair enough, but we've been very focused on the Geists and retrieving the queen, which we've done. And I don't know, maybe I'm still just a mess from running into.
We should go talk to this guy, but we have an appointment this morning.
We do. I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together. Why all of a sudden Lady Grundalock and the Drow are after us, and now Gucci saying things are elevating in the Underdark, and I mean,
It's going
is
to
this
become a
been part of
problem
the
here
plan?
in the surface if it's not taken care of sooner rather than later, as I mentioned before. So the
Well, it's
longer
gonna get
that
taken
we
care of.
wait to handle the problem, the worse it will get. And again, if this Geralt, this person that you're after, I mean, I've been known to find my man, so to speak. So if you need assistance in trying to find said individual, then feel free to use my services.
He is a tracker. Remember, Brynn?
I'm
He found us. We were all over the place, and he found us.
And you had no clue. I was right behind you the whole time.
Oh, God.
It was
What the heck?
actually quite funny.
What kind of perception do we have here?
I have like 0. It's freaking sunny out. I mean, Jesus, this place is so bright. I can't see anything.
Mine's a +1.
Now, DM,
Yes.
would just checking, would the queen like? I'm just trying to figure out as far as Gucci's reputation, whether or not it's wise for Gucci to meet the queen. Technically,
Yeah. You sure you're probably fine. I mean, you're with these guys, and they're kind of local celebrities. I mean, so they're very well known, and they've done
Yes.
a lot for the city. And I mean, they eat and drink for free at the Cross Blades, for goodness sake. I mean, that's it's.
okay.
You're sure
That's
you're
probably
fine.
how
Even if
Lady
they're-
Grindelwald found out about Brynn.
Yeah.
She's probably keeping track
He
of
was
all the
gone-
bar
he was
tabs
gone
in
for
the
like-
city.
He was gone for like 15 years, and then all of a sudden, yeah, this drow and this half-orc and this halfling just helped wipe out all the guys. And she was like, "Tell me more."
Just making sure, just in case.
She's just been monitoring the beer levels in the city for years, and all of a sudden there's this spike of beer level. She's like, "What's happening there?"
Yeah, Brynn, what's your problem? Get it together, man.
Yeah. Soon it's going to be wine.
Yeah.
Like, why is so much money being
I know. All of a sudden.
Luckily, Goldie's small because she drinks her weight in beer every day. So
I don't like these jokes anymore at my expense. You guys look over, because you said local celebrity, you look over and Goldie's posing for a sketch with a fan, and someone's sketching them really fast. She's like, for like the next hour. Just kidding.
Gucci sneaks behind Goldie and it's like,
it's like back
just
in
in the
the,
back.
it's like
Sketch
back in
bombing.
yeah, it's like back in the 1800s when they had to take the picture. You had to sit there for like 10 minutes without moving
Yeah.
because the picture was so slow.
Like, drawing.
It's like nobody
I got
ever
it.
smiles.
That's right.
And that's why all the toddlers look like ghosts.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's right. Moving,
So-
moving.
So is the queen coming to us, or are we going to the queen? I forget.
I
Are you
think we'd
kidding?
be going to the queen, wouldn't she? Why would she be coming to us? That's really kind of weird, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. We
I don't know.
sent somebody out for no. I don't know. Last night was a little hazy. We hit the beverage pretty hard. Sent somebody out with a note to schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
Katie, what are we meeting with the queen?
Yes.
We need to request an audience.
Yep. No, you're all set up for this morning. We have another hour or so. You're gonna go to the school. She's at her tower. Remember that she has a magic tower that she pops up when she comes to town. So she's at her tower.
Their tower art.
Well, I mean, you don't see it on the map right now because it's not a permanent structure. But up here in number 6. You remember you guys went up there the last time. You guys had Luca, and remember she had the tower. She had the Dagon's Instant Fortress that she popped down, and she carried with her and took with her. It was like her little traveling tower.
Well,
you
I mean,
guys
it's
are-
going to take us a while to walk up there.
Yeah, you guys are down
Maybe we can
here,
take our time.
and she is up here. You got to go through the collective
And we are.
and back up.
Yeah, we're right here, Alicia.
How are we going to get over there? We're going to walk? Well, I'll ride Korbog, so I'm good.
You wouldn't be the only one who did. Oh, sorry.
I was waiting for that.
I
was like-
anyway.
That
But
joke
don't-
is so obvious. That joke
We're
is
here
so
all
obvious.
week, folks.
Low hanging fruit.
All right, yeah. So let's take a nice walk. I mean, it's a nice morning. Let's take a stroll, enjoy the city.
Oh, that's a good idea. You're right. Okay. You guys full?
Who knew
Let's
you'd
go.
be so chipper in the morning, Brynn?
With the 17 suns out, you'd think it'd be fine.
Hood up, glasses on.
So yeah, so you guys can head out and you can go so something that you'll notice, you go, you head to the east to head to the bridge to go over to the collective, and the bridge is there, right? So now the bridge, there's like a brand new bridge there which is different because remember they had knocked the bridges down before to stop the geese from getting across because the geese couldn't swim. So there's a nice bridge there now, and you can go over into the collective and go through. Just like the Hollow and the other parts of the city, lots of things are being fixed, repaired. A lot of the guild houses, you're seeing fresh, parts on them where they've been mortaring new stone up to try and rebuild the parts that were destroyed from the Geist invasion. You work your way to the switchback, where you go down and up and down and get back up to the Enlightenment with, it goes underneath, the switchback goes underneath the waterfall. So there's that one small waterfall that zips over and you guys go back and forth underneath that to get to the Enlightenment.
Okay.
Work your way through. So for Gucci, Gucci's been here before, but Brianna, you're new to the game and stuff. So the Enlightenment's where all the magic people hang out, right? It's where all the temples are. It's where if anybody's anybody in the magic world, if they're not sorcerers hanging out in the Birthright, they're probably here.
Yeah.
So lots of wizard stuff and towers and temples and anything like that. You guys go past all that to the wizard school. They let you guys in because they know who you guys are. And within, you walk right in the main gate, and there's this massive building, big stone kind of castle looking building, and right out in front of it, kind of over to the side, is this metal tower, which you guys remember before as the Daern's Instant Fortress that the queen brings with her when she goes places. And there are guards outside the tower, obviously.
Who wants to approach them? Maybe Korbog should.
I already am.
Yeah, Korbog's
Oh,
typical face.
I didn't see that.
Face
Goldie whispers to Gucci, "What?" Korbog does a lot of sneaky things that I don't see him do.
Oh, he's very skillful at a lot of things, my dear.
The reason you don't see me do them is because you're on my back.
She jumps down.
Valid point.
Gucci goes without saying, keep the weapon sheathed while we're in here. We're well respected, but we don't want to give any impressions.
Thank you for that word of advice.
Okay.
Yes, Brynn, thank you for that wonderful advice you never gave me before.
Never mind.
Advice that wasn't asked for.
Goldie,
It's so hard for me to stay in
Goldie,
character.
your brother's friends never gave advice to someone else without giving it to you.
All right.
Okay, Korbog, you walk right up, and the guards are outside the tower, and they kind of snap to attention a little bit, and oh, Mr. Korbog, hello.
Mr.
Well,
Korbog.
now that they've said something, I actually stop because I was just going to go in.
Oh.
And they are obviously two of the paladins, right? So for Brianna, the guards in the Enlightenment are a group of paladins who carry these energy swords with them, and they're kind of like a bridge between the arcane and the divine. And this is the only, and when you go through, this is the only district in the city where you don't see the barbarians. So the purple armored barbarians protect every place in the city except the Enlightenment, where they're not allowed in.
And the guards are they elven or I'm sorry,
all sorts of races.
Okay.
But they are these paladins, so they're very heavily armored, carry those those energy sword kind of things on them, and that has caused, and from being in the city, that's caused some tension between the Enlightenment and the barbarians, because the barbarians are not allowed in. They're very suspicious.
Got it.
You're here for your meeting with the Queen, correct, Mr. Korbog?
Yes, and it's just Korbog.
Oh, yes, of course, Mr. Korbog. I'm sorry. 1 second. Let's just make sure the Queen's okay. And the one guy opens the door and kind of goes in and comes out like a minute later. He's like, "Oh yes, come on in, guys. She's ready to see you."
Okay.
After you, Mr. Korbog.
What,
Wow.
What, Brynn?
After you, Mr. Korbog.
Call me Mr. Korbog again.
Mr. Korbog? Just
Not
doing what you
you.
said. Oh,
Not
okay.
you.
Okay, good. Call me Elf one more time.
I go in.
If I had known that you enjoyed being called Mr. Corball.
Last night could have gone very
What?
differently.
I enjoy it almost as much as I enjoy being called a member of the
Brisketeers.
what?
Oh, he loves Brisketeers.
Yeah.
Who? I go in.
You guys go in.
Mhm.
There's a human woman kind of behind a desk, kind of a thing. She's sitting there and she's like, "Oh, yes, you're meeting with the queen. Here, let me bring you guys up stairs, and we'll go and meet her." And she gets up from her desk, comes over, and starts heading
Can
up
I
the
ask
stairs.
you a question?
Yes, of course.
Should we keep our weapons sheathed? And I
Well,
look at Brynn.
yes. I mean,
Okay.
we assume you will. I mean, if you had wanted to kill the queen, you could have done that a couple times over when you were.
See, it was good advice.
We could kill her later. Don't worry about it.
I mean, there's other ways to kill an individual.
Oh my
not
gosh!
just
All right,
weapons. So
listen,
What?
listen.
Right?
Stop. Stop.
Well, quietly. We said it quietly.
No, you never.
Oh,
say
Gucci
anything quietly.
definitely didn't say that quietly. Gucci's like, well, there's several different ways you can kill a man or a
Oh
woman
my goodness!
or a being. But I
and,
mean,
and the look
hopefully
on
we
this
won't
lady's
have
face
to.
must just be like, what?
Well, that's not really the plan today. I hope. But come on, come up the
I
stairs.
surely hope not. That would be a little disturbing since we were invited here.
That's true.
I mean, why would we come to kill her? In her quarters. That's a little strange.
Especially since we don't know. And Goldie runs up and knocks on the paladin's like armor on his leg. Like she knocks on it. Excuse me.
Yes.
Will there be any like refreshments upstairs or anything like that sort of little maybe hors
This is
d'oeuvres or
fantastic.
anything like that? Okay, never mind.
Oh, wine. Always wine.
I'm sure the queen will have something.
Mm.
Okay.
Goldie, she knows I'm an alcoholic.
That's right.
Go to the stairs.
Okay, you guys head up the stairs. As you get up the stairs, it opens up into a room. There's a desk. The queen is there. There's like some bookshelves. There are 4 guards in the room. 4 of the paladins are here in the room. She says, "Oh, come in, please, come in." And she guys come in, sit down. And would you like drinks or something to eat, maybe?
Oh, of course, wine, darling.
And
I mean,
the woman
Your
that brought you up
Highness.
the stairs. The woman that brought you up the stairs. She immediately goes over to like decanter and starts filling out some drinks and bringing them over, and some little cookies, like some little small cookies and that sort of thing.
Petty fours.
I'll have water.
Okay. It is very good to see you. It's been some time since we've actually had a chance to converse. I mean, above and beyond, thank you, of course, for all that you did. I don't know how you did it, other than you're obviously very powerful individuals. But I
Were
did
you
not
aware
actually
of the
have a
amount
chance.
of time that passed?
I wasn't. I am now, obviously, but I wasn't at the time. Yes, I unfortunately missed my entire children's growth. They're now adults, and I've missed it all. And that's very sad to me, but at least they are alive still and healthy, and that's good.
Well, your daughter did an excellent job keeping the city together and organized, and was instrumental in helping free the folks from the town and removing the threat of the Geist.
That's good to know.
So-
I'd always kind of known she had it in her, but her father has the plans for her brother to take over when he passes away, but maybe his mind will be changed once he's seen what kind of job she did here.
Well, her brother was part of the problem, right? I mean,
Well, this is what I hear. Yes, he was possessed or something, from what I understand.
Right.
I mean, as far as leadership goes within royalty, I don't think you can do any better than your daughter.
Well, those are very good. That's very good to hear. I've always, like I said, I've always had faith in her.
If you need us to talk to the king, we'd be happy to. I mean, I don't know what his problem is. She's perfectly fine. Her son, on the other hand,
I don't know as much of a problem as, just the old, men being in charge kind of a thing. But we'll see how things go. But I will definitely relay that message to him. It's very good to hear from, especially from, those of you who saved me and were instrumental in helping to keep the city as best as you did. I mean, it was, we will be forever in your debt.
Now, I, for one, was not a part of this saving. I'm so sorry. Gucius Levant. Or you can
hello.
call me Gucci. Do you mind catching me up to speed? What exactly, I'm not quite sure. I heard various things, and I'm still a little perplexed as far as what you're referring to, and you not being able to see your children and whatnot, which is, I'm glad you actually care about your children. Many people do not. So that's actually a good sign of character. So that's nice to know.
Well, as I was also gone for quite some time, maybe one of the Brisketeers would like to explain what happened and
Who?
a quick synopsis of the story.
Your Highness, I just wanted to mention that no one in this room is here to kill you at all.
Well, that's good to know. I would hope not.
And you see Gucci drink the wine a little bit, because kind of awkwardly looking around, and then setting down the glass again.
So maybe,
but the Brisketeers will always be at your behest, Your Highness, because Riverbreak means everything to us. It's all we know, and so if it means we have to risk our lives to protect the lives of the people who live here, and our newest Brisketeer.
I'm not sure about risking my life, and I don't really, again, know you or the other people who were mentioned. But if anyone would mind just filling me in, why would we risk our lives again?
Let's see if I can do a little synopsis. Brynn, do you want to do the synopsis, or do you want to leave it to me, Goldie Lumo?
Oh, Goldie, I would love to hear your version of this. It's probably a lot more fun than mine.
But I wasn't alive for part of it. I'm going to make it up. I mean, this is happening in front of the queen and everything, okay?
Oh, dear Lord. I don't know. Maybe Mr. Korbog, would you like to give...
Call me Mr. Korbog again.
That's what you said the last time.
Yeah, you and I are going to have a disagreement.
All right. He needs another therapy session, Gucci, I think. It's still a little too much tension. A little too much tension.
We have meat for breakfast, Your Honor.
So...
But I don't need just a
so the short version...
Short version, yes.
The short version, I think... we came to the city. We were contracted to protect the queen, which we did a very poor job of. The queen was taken.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to get her back.
Mm-hmm.
Her son battled us on a boat on some dragons, and then we were dumped into a time warp. Mm-hmm. We came back to the city 15 years later, we think, give or take, and the whole city was overtaken by geists and under siege.
Things that attached to your head, and they sort of controlled your body. In person, They look really weird. You can imagine.
It looked very weird. And let's see. Then Luca got killed. Somebody shot an arrow into Muvera. Then we had to go to a Hellmouth and stop a giant evil demon who was sucking the life out of the queen and the magical power, and releasing some ice onto the whole city on top of the Geists. After we just fixed the Geist problem, we had another problem, which was all related. And now here we are. And now you're bringing us the third problem to deal with. And thank you so much, which we'll have to explain to the queen.
Yes.
So do you think you want to join us, Gucius, as an official Brisketeer? Maybe
Gucci, darling, Gucci.
Gucci.
We're gonna have to do something about that name. Remember I mean, that's not really the highest grade of meat. You might want to try to reconsider. I mean, the filet mignons. I mean,
have
that
no
still
wife.
sounds weird. I don't know.
Ooh, what about the USDA Prime?
Let's marinate on it. Marinate.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Your brother's friends never disagree with my brisket.
You guys look over and Goldie's posing with one of the paladins for a drawing, like Sophie, like this.
Except no one's drawing. She's just there waiting for someone to draw.
It's all in her head. Her personalities are fracturing at an alarming rate.
Oh God. Okay. The queen must be like, what is this?
As with every interaction we've had with the royalty in this place, it's perfect. Perfect. How it should be.
Probably all adventurers are probably this scatterbrained. That's what you deal with, you know. They're adventurers. What do you know? So what is this other problem you spoke of?
Well, different factions of the Drow and the Underdark have been battling for quite some time. A particular individual, Lady Grundlelock, she is in charge of one of the largest houses. She's gained more and more immense power and joined forces with, I believe it was 3 other houses? It doesn't matter. Either way, they now have more people who have joined their cause and have been wreaking havoc on the Drow that only hope to just live peaceful lives and unfortunately have to fight to survive every day of their lives. But Grundlelock isn't satisfied with just taking over the Underdark. She has her sights set on all of this here. So, yes, she wants more power. And
So
someone as greedy as herself, she won't stop at anything. And if she means joining with other people who might, be lured by, greed and whatever else their heart desires, she's willing to try to give the bribes to make sure that she can have more people join her forces and be unstoppable. So yes, I would say that you have quite a problem on your hands.
Yeah, as you say that, she looks a little bit puzzled, and she thinks she's like, and she like picks up like a coconut off the desk, and she like talks into it. Can you come here a minute? I have a question for you. And she kind of puts it back down, which you might notice that it's like a sending stone, basically.
Okay.
But so much cooler.
But so much cooler. And within like 5 or 10 seconds, like a person like steps out of nowhere. For those that have been here before, it's Quell. Those of you that remember Quell from way back when.
Mm-hmm.
The new person, Quell. This is Gucci. Gucci, this is Quell. Quell knows a bit about Drow and their workings. And Quell's like, yes, one of my good friends, Curafin, is a Drow, and I learned quite a bit about the Drow and what was going on. And she kind of fills her in quickly on what you said.
So let's just say the intel has they're trying to add more people to their forces, the resistance, in order to fight off Lady Grundlelock.
You say Grundlelock is she's a full-fledged house now? My information is a little bit out of date, so
yes. She's now in charge of one of the largest houses that joined with others who saw her as a threat. And I mean, if you're worried about getting squashed by said threat, you probably just decide to cower and do whatever they tell you to do, which is what they decided. So the others are still trying to fight, but a lot of the ladies and lords have been run from their homes, and it's quite sad.
Well, back when I knew, I mean, Grundlelock was like an opposing voice. She was but she didn't have an actual house. I mean, there were 9 houses, but she wasn't one of them. So I think, if I remember right, and she kind of see her like really thinking hard for a moment. That means she would have had to have destroyed one of the old houses, because the Drow only allow 9 houses at a time, so she would have had to basically taken one of the houses out of power to become a house. I wonder how
Well,
she
it
did
did
that.
start with assassins and skirmishes and the like. So it was. I'm sorry. It was actually. Oh, it was 2 houses that she joined with. Yes, 2. So I guess they were strong enough to run the others off. I'm not quite sure as far
Well,
as
if you,
all of the details, but
yeah, I mean, if you do find out more information, I would love to fill some gaps in my knowledge, and I'll keep my eyes open and ears open too, and see if I can't glean any more information for you guys. Before.
What I
I assume this means you're going there. Is that what you're doing? Are you headed into the Underdark to see the Drow? Is that what you're up to?
well, there was a certain person very dear to my heart who said that I should search for this Brynn and his party, and Brynn seems to be the key to turning the tide.
Okay. Well, I will definitely. Quell's like, I would definitely love to hear more information. So when you come back, I would love to hear more of the, or if you find any history books when you're there, like if you grab some, I would love to. I will gladly pay you for some of them. I'd love to hear more of the fill in the gaps of my information and how Grendel Locke came into power and all that. That's like I said, she was just a vocal minority at one point, trying to.
It usually starts that way,
Hmm.
and then they weasel their way to the top
Yeah.
by any means necessary.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of weaseling. There was a lot of killing your way.
Yeah, and so Brynn,
That
so
too.
you remember from when you were there, she was already a house at that point.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time because you were a little kid, so by the time you became cognizant of your surroundings and aware of the world in general, she had already established a house, and she was one of the 9 houses. So you don't remember either what the previous house was, if there was one, that was destroyed in the process. You don't know what it.
Does Bryn know this? Bryn, do you know Lady Gwendoline or just of her from the past?
Oh,
Do you know
oh,
her?
oh yeah. Yes. I was
That was quite a response.
yeah. I spent a short time as one of her chamber boys.
Oh.
Which
Okay.
I didn't enjoy very much, and hence was quite poor at it. So that was my last experience before being thrown in the dungeon, I guess, if you will. I don't know what to call it.
I'm quite sorry to hear that.
Were you very
So,
young?
Queen, really quickly, and then I'll let Goldie finish what she was going to say. But just be aware that that her forces have the weapons that do the most damage to Drow. So they have quite a lot of that material at their disposal.
So, my queen, how do you want to be addressed? I apologize, your Majesty.
Sure, any of that is fine. Your Majesty's fine.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not used to the formality thing. What are you aware of any of this? Then I'll pull out just one of the arrows and I'll hand it to her. It seems that at least 15, 16 years ago, maybe for longer, that this ore was being mined actually right here in the city of Riverbreak. And are you aware of what this is and why? Obviously, these weapons are very powerful against Drow, and perhaps this is why Lady Grunderlock has been able to grow in her power.
So she kind of looks at it, and she kind of Quell kind of takes it and looks at it, and she's like, "Oh, uranium. Yes, I am quite familiar with this actually. And actually, back So this has this is a multi-purpose. This metal has some very distinct properties. Yes, you're right. It is, from what I understand, it is very deadly to drow, as it is to the undead as well. It does more damage to them as well. It's very deadly to them. But another property that it has, and she's like, hang on a second, hang on, and she disappears again, right? And within like 2 minutes, she pops back in. And then she has a couple, like in her hands, she has like this handful of uranium in her hands. And she like drops it on the table. And it's all a bunch of symbols. And you recognize the symbol. It's the same symbol that's on your handkerchief. And she's like, the other thing this does is it attracts undead, including the Geists. So we think at one point somebody was planting these symbols around the city as a way to attract the Geists to their targets.
Oh.
And
Does it have the same
Korbog,
material
if you
as
want to
those?
give me a religion check. Yes, it's the same material as the weapons. It's that rainbow material.
Right.
So GR might have been contracting to make symbols, which is what symbols for the guys. Yeah, all right.
12.
So you do recognize the symbol as it is the symbol of Orcus. So we found these in various places around the city. They were built into other things. Like if there was a table, like underneath one of the drawers.
Part of Orcus's plan?
Underneath the drawers, there was like a symbol. It may have been. I don't know.
I mean, this is Orcus's symbol.
So one thing that would be, I think, very helpful for us is if we could fashion enough weapons for the group. If we're going down here, Goldie has some daggers. Mm-hmm. Oh, Gucci and I both have arrows, and Korbog, you have a sword.
Yes.
So we are equipped.
You actually have enough.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, by the way, she kind of pushes the symbols out of the way, and she's like, "I had a couple things for you." And the queen reaches into like a drawer, and she waves to one of the paladins. So she pulls out this little shard, like a little gem kind of piece of ragged looking gem, and she I think this would work well for you, my dear, and she hands it to Goldie.
Oh, what is it?
It is an astral shard. It is a powerful little item for sorcerers, which I believe you are, correct?
Yes, I'm definitely a sorcerer. Draconic bloodline. I'll have wings soon. If we ever get there, if I don't die before I get there, DM, we'll have wings.
Wings are most impressive, little one. But that will help you in your sorcery.
Thank you.
And she kind of pulls out this. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yes.
What do I owe this? It's just for me?
Yes, it is for saving me, and it's my thanks and my gratitude for.
Oh,
the
thank
work
you.
You've put in to save me.
Because
Goldie.
as you said, little one, you may be little in stature, but you are a giant indeed.
Absolutely. I agree.
Goldie looks at Korbog and like a tear falls out of her eye. Thank you, Korbog. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. And you never say anything nice. So thank you. She puts the shard on her tunic.
I want to go back and look when Goldie started with all the backhanded compliments. I've noticed the last few episodes she's been handing out the backhanded compliments like crazy, and I love it. It makes me laugh.
She's a teenager.
It's a teenage thing.
It's the hormones.
Teenager.
It's the hormones.
And then the paladin walks over and they hands you, Korbog, a maul. And this is for you, Korbog, and for my thanks for all that you have done.
I have a request.
Okay.
The citizens of North Point need your help, and I have a list of the things that they need. They're rebuilding the town.
Oh. North Shore.
North Shore, yeah, that one.
Oh. Yes, it was very sad, actually. Many years ago, the pirate attack took out almost the entire town.
I know.
But yeah, yes. If you give me what they need, I will get it sent out within a few days.
Very well. I give her the paperwork.
Okay. She takes it and she'll the same paladin who handed you the maul, which it is a maul of certain death. The one
That sounds fantastic.
it is fantastic. The one that
Holy
handed
hell.
you the maul, she hands this to him, and she's like, gather these things rapidly and get them out to the north shore for me. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And he takes off. And then for you, Brynn, my friend, she pulls out a little vial, and it's got like some bronze-looking liquid inside of it, and she hands it to you.
Is it a potion? Is it a really good drink?
Just dump it on yourself when you're ready. It'll help to protect you.
Oh.
I could use that. Thank you.
No, thank you. I mean, I would not be here right now if it was not for the three of you.
It's our pleasure, right? We searched for you for us a very short time, but for the world a very long.
Mm-hmm.
And then
It was a very long time. Not a fun time, a time I wish to forget, and look forward to the prosperity and the people, the good people that I've met, like yourselves.
it's just so strange being considered a good person. Thank you, Queen,
You are
Your
most
Majesty.
certainly welcome.
lady.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
This is regarding what Gucci was saying. What is happening in the Underdark with Lady Grendelach? Will we need? And Goldie's sort of directing her question to the Queen / Brynn / Gucci, whatever. Is this something where we would possibly need to utilize the Queen's army if it comes to that, or are we enough? Do you think, from what you saw?
Well, I mean, and that might be part of the next conversation. We may need to, if Gucci is what Gucci is saying is true here, and the surface is in danger, then I may need to call on you one more time for some help. Obviously,
I personally think it would be better. I personally think it would be better if we took Mr. Brynn and Korbog and Goldie and went to try to get more intel and try to get on the inside of it, and that way we can provide you with the information that you need, and your forces can fight back and defend itself properly if she decides to go through with her plan.
But you said
Is this
we were
Lady
joining
Gundalak?
the
Is she?
resistance, right?
Go ahead.
What's that, Corbin?
You
Mhm.
said we were joining some sort of resistance, correct?
Yes, but the resistance, their numbers are not as high as Grundaluk's, so hence why I was sent to find strong heroes to join their resistance. Hopefully to try to hold back some of her forces long enough for hopefully the surfaces to get their things in order.
I certainly wouldn't want to try to claim that I can provide strategy for war, but if I could just ask that your forces, my queen, lady, remain defensive as opposed to offensive. I think there are many soldiers of the Underdark that they're not all bad people, and unfortunately they're following orders. They're stuck in the world that they live in, and if you go in and slaughter everyone, which I'm sure you'd be successful at, just a lot of good people may die, and if we cut off the head of the snake here, I think we're going to be a lot better off.
Well, I don't have much of the uranium around, but let me see if I'll at least start to fashion a few weapons out of this and maybe get a small force together that will be prepared if you need them to go in and assist you. I'll see what I can put together, and I will wait for information from the four of you as to what's happening.
Okay.
Very
And
wise
maybe-
choice.
And maybe someday, if you decide that adventuring is no longer in your bones, I will have positions for you, maybe, to do some greater things that don't involve adventuring.
Ooh, what sort of positions, darling? I mean, Your Highness.
Well, for instance, North Shore is going to need probably help getting rebuilt and being managed. So having those like you who might be interested in holding positions within that town and helping to grow that and helping to make that into something more. It's about time Riverbreak has another city on this island.
I was thinking of more
Oh.
fun positions, but
Well, I guess we would be deferring here to Gucci. Like, where do we go now? Do we just sort of get it together and head down? Or my other question is, how are we going to do all of this intel without tripping up Lady Garnelnack? Is like once she sees Brynn, I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out as we go.
well, a smaller party like this would do much better than having large forces. I think that she would then be alerted a lot quicker, versus obviously somewhat skilled from what I've seen. I know certain people are more skilled than others. And then he looks over at
She means
Korbog.
me. Oh, him?
He looks
Okay.
over at Korbog, does a wink, and then but it's much better for us to go with a smaller group that can be a little bit more stealthy, and then if we need more force, at least we know the queen is willing to share hers.
Absolutely. And I will of
Great.
course pay you all a good sum for finding out what information you can and helping to protect the city yet again. I mean, you've done this so many times.
Well, that's music to my ears. I was starting to feel left out because I didn't receive any gifts.
Maybe next time.
Fair enough.
How's your daughter, the princess? Is she okay?
Yes, she's good. Actually, she is in the scepter right now. She has decided that she's taking a position of power within the city, and she's going to stay here. And who am I to tell her to tell her no? I think it is a good idea.
And your son? Any signs of him?
He's been around. He's actually back in the mainland. He's helping his father wage war.
Now, remind me, when we battled with him, he actually helped us the last time? Or he helped...
No, I think the last time you guys saw him was when you broke him out of his whatever possession kind of thing he had going on.
Okay.
But you do know he was a warlock, and he was like a necromantic based warlock.
Yeah.
And you know that Alora, which is the name of the kingdom that owns this island as well and rules over Riverbreak and such, they've been in a battle for quite some time with a neighboring country that is led by a necromancer and his undead armies. So they've been dealing with a war for a long time.
Okay.
Wow.
So then, I mean, so yeah, so if you can find out any information that you can find, and can definitely report back to me and let me know. I myself, I will just have Quell and I will have to have a chat about what's going on in the Underdark. I don't know. I am not privy to that information. I'll get caught up a little bit on what she knows, but I would like to hear about this skirmish or war or battle, whatever it is that's happening down there. Especially if it is, I mean, if it's themselves, I don't want to interfere with what they have going on. But if this is going to spill into above ground, then we need to be prepared for that.
Absolutely.
Oh, one other thing. I mean, obviously, I know my way around the Underdark. That's not a problem. But, we could be pretty far within that area. So, how exactly would you like us to contact you? Do you have this is a magical establishment. Do you have like a sending stone, something or the other? So that way we can just, give you a little buzz or some words of warning.
Let me see.
Good idea.
Let me look at sending stones quick. Can they go across?
I don't know if anything is powerful enough to do that, but I mean, it's much more convenient than having to scurry to the surface again.
And how far away are we from, which Gucci and I would both know, from being able to get into the Underdark from Riverbreak?
Hang on one second with that. Yeah. So with this, yes, she'll pull out 2 stones and she'll put one on her desk and she'll hand one to you, Gucci. It is usable once a day to send a short message. But if you send it, I will get it through this stone, and then I can send one back. So if you do
Excellent.
have an update or want to send something to me, you can do it with that.
Perfect.
How long does it take for messages to get using a sending stone in general?
I think it's pretty instantaneous.
It's instantaneous. Okay.
It's magic. It is a sending spell.
Well, I've never been to the Underdark, but I do like adventuring, and I do feel really safe with, for the most part, really feel pretty safe with these people. So if anyone's going to take care of this, then it's going to be us. So I guess we better prepare for our trip to the Underdark, Brynn's home, and where he started. Gucci, are we dressed appropriately for Underdark?
I mean, I'm always dressed for any occasion. You all look pleasant. Sure.
And I think, Brynn, you had mentioned something about where you'd be going into the Underdark. Or
Yeah.
Gucci. So if you want to bring up the world map. So if you see, this is Riverbreak here.
Uh-huh.
Dath Thelos is a big crater that is there that is in the world, and there is rumor, myth and rumor behind it that there are ways there, and actually Gucci can confirm that that's how Gucci came out. Gucci came out through Dath Thelos is how he came out to the surface. So you'd have to travel over to Dath Thelos, and you'd go into the Underdark through there.
And how long is that journey again?
This journey here is probably about a day and a half or so. So North Shore is here, like right up here. So that's about a 2-day journey to North Shore. So it's about a little over a day.
Okay.
And that's even with Gucci's ability to kind of.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay.
It would probably be a day and a half normally for most people. For you, it's about a day.
Okay.
A little over a day, maybe.
Gucci, it's been a long time since I've been through there. Is this the kind of thing we want to try to get through quickly? Maybe on horseback, or is it better to go stealthily through and wind on smaller trails?
Would I know that? Would I know if it's like? I'm like, would I
That
know?
was an art question, but yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I
but
mean,
like, of course, like I'll act as if it is Gucci.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, you think? Give me a history check.
Because I
Gucci.
know that's the quickest way, but
Yeah.
I'm like, is it the safest? That's the question. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And then what is this? History?
Yep.
Okay, so
So-
that is a 19.
So just to clarify, my question is not necessarily the safest, but the one that's going to do the least to alert attention that we're on our way there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
More of a stealth sort of
Like
question.
stealthy versus yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think probably going by foot is your best way to do that to stay. I mean, the horses would obviously be less stealthy, and you could possibly attract more attention than you want. And I mean, you'll save some time, but obviously, some of what you do and get people through the forest and stuff faster is because you know, like what little trails
The
and signs
paths
to
and
hop
trails.
onto, whereas a horse might not be able to maneuver as well through those
Yes.
places. So you think that you probably wouldn't lose any time if you were to be on a horse, but you probably wouldn't gain any time either, and you'd be more obvious that you were going instead of being as stealthy as you would be, because obviously even if you're if you're riding, you're making a lot of noise. Even Korbog,
Oh,
not only with the hoof noises, but then his armor's bouncing more, the whole thing, like you'd just be making a lot more noise.
Korbog on a horse.
Oh, you're all
Anyway,
Flowing cape and
Yeah,
everything.
it's-
Oh yeah.
and his muscles flexing,
if
and
that-
the
even
sweat
though I would
dripping off of
love-
him. Yeah.
I would love to see that every, or at least for that morning, throughout the day. But if we're going for stealth and to not alert, who, I think it's best for us to go by foot, and I can get you there, of course.
So I have one request before we leave. Especially if we're going back to battle with the drow, I really want to get rid of these daily reminders of the lady. Can we
Really?
spend a little bit of time, just a little bit, with Dorman Etzel?
I thought we were supposed to be looking for Geralt, Galt, whoever. No.
Well, we need. Well, we can certainly go look at him, but it sounds like he was making these symbols for
I see.
for the capturing of Riverbreak, not necessarily related to Lady Grundalock and what's going on in the Underdark.
So is this a surgery or something or the other that you?
I don't know. Can we at least go talk to him? Maybe it's quick.
Whatever you'd like.
Dormond, you would find Dormond. He'd be up in the Toil probably. I mean, he does have a shop in the Hollow as well, so you may be able to find him in the Hollow. Shop.
The glistening gem, right?
Right, the glistening gem. Yes.
Yep.
Your information is good.
Is he? You think the best tinker in town?
He's one of the best. Yes, I mean, if you want something, Dormond is one of the best to go see.
What does the process require, Brynn?
I don't know. We're gonna have to ask the tinkerer. I mean, that's why we're looking for his expertise. At least I am.
We used to have quite the artificer in town. Wonder where he went. Quite a weird fellow. Oddcock Thimbleprick Strangemember, I think his name was, or something. He was quite the interesting artificer, but quite talented and adept at what he did.
Yeah, he's up at North Shore. He was stationed up there.
Oh! I've again been gone for a while. I haven't caught up on all the things that are happening.
I think he may be returning to town. Since North Shore is fine, the townsfolk have returned. We were able to rescue them.
Oh, you were. Oh well, that's excellent.
Yeah,
So I'll have to send communication there and find out what's going on. I'll send someone up to. I have Korbog's list, so I will get that sent here in the next few days and make sure someone goes up and see if there's anything else that they need or what we can do. But I think it's about time we had a second city on this island, and I think North Shore would be good.
Excellent. Shall we go?
Yes, we must make haste. I'm sorry.
Cheerio.
So yeah, so you guys leave, head back out of the Enlightenment. Are you just going back? Where are you going? Are you going straight to the Glistening Gem?
Yes, we must make haste. Gucci came up here and told us what is happening down there. It sounds like things are coming to a head.
Yeah, but like in fantasy world, haste is like a few weeks is fine. Right? I mean,
Like,
come on.
long enough to
It's-
take care of
it's
a
not
couple
like
of
the-
things while you're here.
Yeah. Like, we never take a short rest, a long rest, anything. Can we just take a breath for a second before we run off to the next thing?
I mean, I wouldn't mind because I've been stuck in the Underdark and fighting and all that jazz. I like to enjoy myself here on the surface and all of the pleasures that come along. with it.
Really?
Korbog needs at least a few days of de-stressing in a nice, comfortable bed.
Yeah, I mean,
I sure hope
Gucci,
so.
I mean, Gucci, you know that, this is whereas this is pressing. This isn't like you have to go right now. I mean, it's this battle's been waging for quite some time. It's not like it's going to end tomorrow. It's not like you could certainly take some time. Obviously, not too much time, but some time up on surface if you need to do some things before you head in.
Well, that's the thing is that Gucci cares for like his own selfish reasons, so he's going to prioritize anything that is definitely more pleasurable or fun or joyful for him than like obviously having to go back to constant battle and all of that stuff. Even though he's good at it, he's like, I can enjoy myself. It's like a mini vacation. It's fine. So that's definitely Gucci's frame of mind. So that was music to Gucci's ears just now. So yes, he's totally about it.
Goldie,
Why
your
are you
brother's
so eager,
friends always
Goldie?
took a long rest before they charged off into combat.
Oh my god.
Mom, we named the whole group after your best dish. Why can't you leave me alone? Ignore me. I'm just talking to myself sometimes. It's fine.
She always do that? Is that a common thing with teenagers? Or I don't remember going through that part of my puberty talking to myself.
It's a common thing with her.
Oh, okay.
Goldie,
It's been getting worse lately.
Imaginary friends? I thought that was only for like wee ones. Not.
you
sorry.
haven't met her mother.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure, or maybe not pleasure. I don't know.
You
Oh.
wouldn't say so.
Maybe we have time to stop by the birthright.
Absolutely not. That is out of the question. Anyway, so back to what we were talking about. So,
Please,
Brynn,
no.
um,
I might have to go
Yes.
back into rage mode if we have to see Goldie's mother. It's a shame.
Goldie, it doesn't sound like your new friend wants to try my brisket.
Your old friends didn't try either.
you would have
I'm just
seen
saying.
Gucci kind of like where Gucci kind of like had almost like a horrified look to his face when Goldie mentioned the birthright, and just kind of that flicker, and then it went away, and just like, okay, back to let's
Here.
carry on.
You're
Carry on.
across Gucci's face.
Yes.
But Gucci, I
Yes.
thought I'd mention this, even though I know this might. Muvera is buried in my
Ugh.
backyard,
Oh, the goddess.
so you might want to
Ugh.
visit.
But even
Okay.
she can't get me to go to that area, unfortunately.
Well,
Too much wine would be needed, and
yeah, the
drugs,
monsters.
other things. Anyway, but what? Maybe when I'm almost on my deathbed, I might go. And,
Okay, I'll tell a sending stone to my mom and let her know that. But we can always still bury you in the backyard. That could happen too. Next to Muvera if that's needed. I mean, just hang
I
out
would
there.
rather just burn to a cinder instead of going
Okay.
back there. So it's fine. Anyway, as we were doing,
Right
we were
away.
carrying on. We need to keep going along this trail.
And where are you guys headed?
Like Gucci's basically walking, and where
Glistening
he's
gem.
walking.
Yes, to the direction to get Brynn where he needs to be.
Okay. So you guys
Brynn.
go- you guys go back through the
Oh.
Enlightenment, go down the switchback underneath the waterfall, get to the collective, and you're cutting through the collective. Everybody, give me a perception check.
Here we go. That would be a 8.
Same.
No, wait.
Six.
That would be, yeah.
16.
9.
Corbog?
Gucci is very distraught by Birthright mentioning.
22.
Okay.
Goldie is
So-
looking at her pin.
There you go. And Corbog, you can also give me an insight check. And then I'll tell you what you guys notice.
Wow.
23.
Okay, so Brynn, you happen to catch kind of out of the corner of your eye a couple of drow. Now, normally this wouldn't be weird because there are drow in Riverbreak besides you. I mean, you've seen them in the city before, but something just kind of seems strange when you catch them out of the corner of your eye. It's kind of that thing where, you know, like you never notice a red car until you buy a red car, and now all of a sudden you see red cars everywhere. So, you know, you're having this interaction with the drow. So for some reason now it seems to be more prominent to you, and you've caught, like, in your corner of your eye, you've caught like a couple of drow in the city. Corbog, you've downright seen them, and you notice that they've noticed you noticing them, and they've kind of ducked around a corner. As if trying to not be seen by you.
I don't say anything.
Okay.
Does Brynn notice them duck around the corner?
He just kind of caught them out of, like, I mean, if you guys talk about it, he just kind of caught them out of the corner of his eye. He didn't really get a good look at them.
Okay. So I did get a good look at them. Do
Yeah.
they look like they're dressed like the drow that we saw before? So they have
Similar
similar clothing.
Similar clothing.
With that level of perception and insight, did he pick up on a pin?
No, they're too far away to notice the pin, but the clothing, the outer clothing, was very. That's kind of why it caught your eye, right? The drow you've seen before in Riverbreak are dressed very differently. Like these guys
Is
were.
there a
dressed
way
very
to get
similar.
where they went? Is there a way to get where they went without going the route we were going?
Sure, yeah, you could kind of take a turn and go down like another side road. And
I say, did you see those drow?
Yeah, I did, Corbug. Been seeing a lot more of them lately.
Follow me. And I turn into an alley to go the way that they wouldn't expect us to go.
okay. And trying to cut them off, basically. So you're trying to are you trying to follow them, or trying to like approach them and jump
Oh,
them?
Corbug is trying to meet them.
Yeah, that was what I figured. Okay, that was what I was checking. I figured that was what you were trying to do, but I wanted to check and make sure before I assumed differently. Yeah, so within a couple minutes, you guys cut down some side
Well,
alleyways.
I definitely want
yeah,
to
go
do
ahead.
like hide in. I want to basically during this time where we're kind of following. I want to make sure that I'm like almost hiding in plain sight. So I go into my stalker mode where I'm basically trying to prepare myself for the worst. So yeah, I'm spending like a minute to kind of camouflage myself within the shadows.
Yep. So you guys
of
can kind of
the
take
alley.
some twists and turns, and it takes you a couple minutes, but you kind of come around a corner, Corbog, or the four of you, including Corbog, and you can see a group of 3 drow. 2 are looking one way. 1 is looking the direction you are, as you come like around this corner. And what do you do?
Do they see us or
Yeah,
hear us coming?
the one guy sees you. He hasn't said anything yet. He. Actually, Corbog, you can give me another insight check.
Do I have to do stealth to make sure that I wasn't seen?
Yeah, you can roll. I was just going to let you stay hidden, but you can roll.
It's a 16 for me.
And that's a +10 to my stealth, so that's 19.
19. Okay, good. So, Corbog, he no kind of expression on his face or anything. Like you You don't know if he was waiting for you to come around the corner. If you shocked him, you're not sure. He doesn't look surprised. Brynn, give me a perception check.
$12.
Damn.
Before anything like happens, he like reaches up and pulls his hood down, and he's like, "Brynn, what are you doing here?" All right, everybody, thanks for watching Riverbreak, and we will see you guys next time on another episode with this amazing cast.